Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for supporting this show. Free speech will always reign here, and it's only possible because of you guys. After all the problems with YouTube and the social media shadow banning and shit, not only are we still here, we are expanding. By the end of May, and this is for certain, we will have this show finally on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Android TV, and even an app for your iPhone or Android mobile device. That's right, finally. Yeah, fuck you, big tech. Who needs you? Not going to stop us. And again, I'd like to ask you guys to continue to keep those contributions coming. You're the reason for all this great stuff because it costs money. To contribute, just look for the contribute box on thecomicsgym.com, or you can go to nickdip.com and click on the contact page. Again, thank you guys so much. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to the final show of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be with you.
The Antichrist. You got me in a vendetta kind of mood.
Sure do.
What should you call the group of dancers in a ballet?
Silly savages.
Guy comes home with a bouquet of flowers for his wife. I guess I'll have to spread my legs now, she says. Why, he asks. Don't you have a vase?
I like how he tells it in long form. Why, she says. Guy comes home with a bouquet of flowers. All righty. What is it, Thursday? Isn't it fun watching Biden just... This last week, he is just, well, the whole world is just catching up to Trump, being right about the big shit. You know, about it coming from a China lab and shit. And they're so fucking stuck in their ways and just so reluctant to be proved wrong by Trump or agree with anything he says. Then Biden makes a big announcement. Well, we're going to look into it. I guess you're on speaking terms with Trump again? Fucking wise you up. Same with Facebook and all the other shitheads that are muzzling people like me, especially Facebook. That was a big news yesterday. They said yesterday it would no longer ban posts suggesting COVID-19 is man-made amid mounting calls from President Biden and other officials for further investigation into the pandemic's origins. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pretend to do an investigation. It's going to go on for months. And meanwhile, Biden will be on the phone with his friends in China and go, don't worry about it. This is all for show. That's how the world works. Sorry to be so cynical. The announcement marked a reversal for the jerk-off social media giant. In February, Facebook said it would remove posts claiming the virus was man-made or manufactured. Wow, how American. Following consultations with leading organizations, including the World Health Organization, who does what? They suck China's dick, and vice versa. So let's take their advice. Who had debunked the claim. I wonder why that is.
You fucking people. You have no idea how to defend a nation.
We're defending a nation that's fucking trying to kill it. Literally, they want to dominate the world, and we're the first obstacle. But let's keep playing patty cakes with them. In light of ongoing investigations into the origin of COVID-19 and consultation with the public health experts, nobody knows what the fuck. Everybody's been wrong except for Trump. Remember he banned the flights and he was a xenophobe and all that shit? You people, I'll say it again on the left. Well, we were wrong about that. You've never been right. You're just dumb. And you think you're fucking smart. That's the sad part. Now look at this shirt. It says everything about me. Back to the show. Looks like the founding fathers took a dump and I rubbed it all over my In consultation with public health experts, we will no longer remove the claim. Wow, that's very big of you. That COVID-19 is a man-made. We're not going to remove that from our apps. Excuse me. I'm better off inhaling cigars than this shit, I swear to God. Facebook spokesperson said in a statement, how fucking, you know what? We'll decide what's information and disinformation. But for now, we're going to, we're going to act like God. We're continuing to work with health experts, they keep up the lie, to keep pace with the evolving nature of the pandemic and regularly update our policies as new facts and trends emerge. Like the facts that came out a year and a half ago and how you put those up. Nobody believes in anything you fucking say anymore, okay?
And you blew it! You blew it.
Politico was first to report on the policy change. Public calls for further investigation into the pandemic's origins intensified in recent days after the Wall Street Journal reported that 3 researchers at China's Wuhan Institute of Virology displayed symptoms very, very similar to the chick virus. It was the chick virus. Why do you call it that? It came from the chicks. Severe enough to seek hospital treatment, okay? This was when it first happened. And now we're just getting wind of that. A previous State Department fact sheet noted the researchers had symptoms consistent with both COVID-19 and poison ivy. No, common seasonal illness, which is in China, I don't know what. That type of shit. Some bad ribs. In a statement earlier Monday, Biden said he had directed his national security advisor to develop a report on the virus origins, including the possibility that it emerged after a laboratory acts. First, I'm going to go one step further so you can go, hey, he was right a year ago. It came from a lab. We all know that now. It wasn't a fucking accident. Do you know anything about China whatsoever? It wasn't an accident. And if it was an accident, eventually, it was going to, gain a function. They're going to use it as a biological weapon. Please read up on China. I bought a book called Dirty Chinese for Idiots. It's very good. After a laboratory accident, shortly after he became president, Biden said he has called on intelligence officials to present a report on their findings within 90 days. By then, we'll be in a war. The United States will also keep working with like-minded partners around the world to press China to participate in a full, transparent, evidence-based international investigation. And you know how you guys are going to find out about it? Supposedly on Facebook in 90 days, which, by the way, works with China, I believe. Was it Facebook or Google? Doesn't matter. They actually, I think it was Google, helping China develop what? Software that will shut the voices of people down in China, censor them, algorithms and all that shit. Google is helping China with that. Anyways. So, yeah, it has to be based on an international investigation and to provide access to all relevant data, evidence, Biden said. Facebook and other social media platforms have faced pressure from both sides of the aisle regarding the COVID-19 content policies. Democratic lawmakers have pressed platforms to crack down on the spread of information. Yes, but their idea of misinformation is anything that comes out of Trump's mouth or Trump supporters or anybody who they disagree with. They call that misinformation. So it's not really both sides trying to make an honest effort here. While Republicans have accused the companies of stifling we have fucking more than enough proof. Open debate, including discussions on the lab leak story. So do you really think both sides are doing it in the same spirit? Have you ever heard, let me ask you this, have you ever heard anybody on the right, politicians, high profile, say, that's misinformation? Not really, have you? No, you haven't. On to story number 2. Officials have started to release more information about the suspect in the deadly shooting at the VTA light rail yard in San Jose. That's Valley Transportation Authority. The incident was first reported as an active shooter situation. Officials say 9 people, don't include the gunman with the 8 innocent people he slaughtered. That's an insult. Okay, put him in his own category. You should say 8 people and a fucking human scumbag cocksucker. Seriously, use that language on the news tonight. That would piss me off if you lump me in with 9 people died. Well, they're all human beings. No, they're not. Officials say 9 people, including the gunmen, have died. The suspect has been identified by 2 law enforcement officials as 57-year-old Sam Cassidy. When I heard that name, I said, oh, no doubt he's a whitey. Never met a black Sam. That's not true. At VTA, he's a VTA employee. You can tell he's a little cuckoo. No prior criminal record. He's a lifelong Californian. It took place at a union meeting. Sources say Cassidy had multiple weapons. Multiple sources tell ABC News this is a suspected workplace violence. You think? Really? Cassidy reportedly set fire to his home. Which I do after I watch MSNBC with 5 minutes. He set fire to his home on Angmar Court before the shooting. When firefighters arrived on the scene, no one was inside the home. Really? There wasn't a bunch of friends there hanging out with him? Oh, God.
You're fucking crazy.
It would appear as if the fire was set as the shooter was on his way to the work site, said San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo. Payroll records obtained by ABC 7 News show he made $160,000 in base, overtime, and other pay as a VTA substation maintainer. On the day of the shooting, the first calls came in at 6:34 a.m. That's what you get for getting up early, I guess. The shooting was in the area of 100 West Younger Avenue. I have a duplex there with Stu Leonard. At a VTA control center and rail yard where light rail cars are stored. The building is not open to the public, so the shooter would have needed employee access or to have broken in, said VTA spokesman Brandy Childress. Well, you must be a detective, Brandy. At the time of the shooting, there was an employee meeting going on, union. When law enforcement arrived on the scene, multiple people had been shot in 2 separate buildings, the sheriff's office said, and the shooting was ongoing. About 40 people were rescued from inside multiple law enforcement agencies who responded to the scene. Deputies didn't fire their weapons, Davis said, leading them to believe the gunman died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, thank Christ.
And we couldn't do nothing about it.
Then the hairdo arrived at the shooting scene. That would be Gavin Newsom. Bet he rushed right down from the fucking, laundry restaurant? God, my memory's shot. The French Laundry. We know how they wash their pants. I don't even know what that means. He arrived in San Jose Wednesday afternoon. I wonder what his take's going to be on this. Called the tragedy part of a pandemic of gun violence. Really? There's a numbness, I imagine some of us are feeling about this because there's a sameness, Newsom said. It feels like this happens over and over again. And of course, he'd use a hair analogy. Rinse, repeat, rinse and repeat, and then add glue and cement. So right away, he's taken the anti-gun approach. He urged leaders to wake up to this reality and take a little damn responsibility. He's talking to Republicans and to move beyond the platitudes and usual rhetoric. And they said to him,
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
he doesn't understand. Let's go through this again for the 16th try. How many NRA members are in the country? 100 million? Right? Even if it's not that, let's say 80, whatever. Okay? I want you to look up their record and see how many of them have murdered anybody. You know, if you take away all the black-on-black violence in all the lib-run cities and shit, and these shootings, they seem like they happen all the time only because the coverage is disproportionate to how many times it happens. So you get this, mentality that it happens all the time, when the truth of the matter is we don't have a gun pandemic. We have a mental illness character problem in the United States. So quit blaming the fucking, I mean, how many times you're going to go through? They really want to, I saw a guy last night on TV. Well, the head of the ATF wants to take, literally, Biden wants to arrest people that have AR-15s eventually. You know, so they can disarm us as they're letting fucking criminals run wild in every city. No bail. Fucking, don't let that rapist get COVID. Let him out. And you won't have a way to defend yourself. Wake up, America. He's so full of shit. He's just so full of shit. And it's so obvious these aren't his policies. But he's just happy to be president. He's happy to be alive. Biden, next headline, is a pathological lying piece of shit, I wrote last night in a rage. And a recently, there he is on the turlet. In a recently published interview that was his first as president of the United States, Joe Biden falsely claimed that his predecessor campaigned on the rhetoric that black people were taking jobs away from other Americans. That's what he said about Trump.
He's lying.
Did you ever hear Trump say that once, ever? I remember him being in Detroit or wherever at a black church saying, "What do you got to lose?" I remember him promising jobs. Don't you? And I think he did pretty well with the black vote. So Biden, you're just a lying cocksucker. Please die in your sleep. It'll be less painful than seeing you fall down 8 flights of stairs. Anyways, this is hilarious as it happens because President Donald Trump campaigned and heavily promoted, worked toward, and touted his success at getting black people lots and lots of jobs. Seriously, the dude loved talking about both how he was going to make sure black people had jobs and how he actually did it with the enthusiastic support of his small but incredibly vocal African-American base, which surged during his presidency. And Biden's out there going, he told people that white people are going to take black people are going to take white people's jobs. Yes, I'm sure a bunch of those computer coders were shitting their pants. Seriously, his support among black voters was booming to historic heights for a Republican candidate. I really think he was the first black president, personally. And I'm Trump, and I'm black, y'all. Got a gold toilet, y'all. In an emotive piece on his interview with Biden, which was given right after the 46th president was sworn into office in January, Edward Isaac Dover of The Atlantic, by the way, if you don't know, there he is. He apparently, Jesus Christ, he looks like the drunken brother of, who'd I say? Judd Apatow. What the fuck? Look at this guy. Anyways, this guy works for The Atlantic is so left-wing, it's not even funny. Anyways, Edward Isaac Dover of The Atlantic waxed philosophical about then brand new president's journey to the White House and his battle for the soul of America, talking about Biden. Biden enlightened Dover regarding just how brilliant, meaning himself, he had been to frame his campaign in this way, despite all the naysaying from the media. And Biden said, everybody in the press thought the party had moved, that I was from another era, that it wasn't relevant. What the hell are you talking about? Why are you talking about the soul of America, they said to me. For Christ's sakes, Joe, talk about global warming or whatever the hell they want me to talk about, the president articulately explained to his interviewer. But you see, he continued, he had an orange man to vanquish. Biden explained that what I saw with Trump was he didn't understand anything about who we are as a people. God, am I tired of that line.
Shut up! Will you please shut up? Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up!
Can you imagine him saying that? This motherfucker is selling us out to China. Is that who we are as a people? Joe? Huh? Is your family who we are? Your son fucking on TikTok with 14-year-olds while he's doing blow off a black guy's ass? Ah! I made that up. This guy had a great joke when I first went to New York. I forget his name. I forget who it was. He goes, yeah, so I'm snorting a coke off this 13-inch black dick, and my mother walked in. I said, it's not what you think. You don't get it, man? It can only be that. Anyways, so the dude who loved America constantly, pointing back to our founding fathers, who wrote this article with dude? Oh! Sorry, folks. Oh, this morning has been just a fucking ball bust. I want to fucking punch him. Pointing back to they're talking about Trump, pointing back to our founding fathers, the value of patriotism, and actually can remember on the spot how the Declaration of Independence goes, which Biden could not. He was the one who doesn't understand who Americans as people are. Joe, it's Trump. I'm getting chills, man. Do you think Biden will get fact-checked ever for this claim? Right, whatever you say, big guy. You're the boss now. And they won't even. Are you counting his lies? Remember how Trump was the only one they did that to?
Who's your fucking boss, huh? Who's your fucking boss?
Who's my boss? Obviously, Xi Jinping, leader of, Anyway, Biden rambled on about Trump's transparent selfishness, his willingness to say anything, his overwhelming appeal to prejudice and division, and he didn't have any social redeeming value as far as I can see, except for bringing unemployment down to record lows for women, Asians, blacks, and brown people. No social redeeming value as far as I can see. And what's yours, Joe? You've said racist shit over the years about Indians working at gas stations. I mean, you plagiarized. You're sucking China's dick and then denying it. But, Trump's the bad guy. Please get a tumor. There it is, yet again, a Democrat calling Republican irredeemable. Good move, Joe. Joe Unity Biden, in another borrowed line used by so many of the left, Biden claimed he simply couldn't believe that Trump actually managed to get people to vote for him. Not only did he manage that, Joe, not only did he smoked you. It will come out. He smoked you in the last election. And anybody who brings it up, they're going to say to you, oh, the big lie. Oh, okay, you keep saying that, and we're supposed to believe it's a big lie. He kicked your ass. It was a landslide victory. I believe that with all my heart. And you're going to find that out anyways. Biden said, I underestimated his ability to take the big lie and turn it into something that was assailable, he said. I hate this guy.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
Speaking of big lies, Biden went on to tell a massive one when attempting to explain why Trump hoodwinked so many Americans into joining and supporting his movement. He said, the people who built the country are the people who are all being left behind. When that happens and you don't have a counter voice to the reason you lost your job is because of an immigrant. The reason you lost that job is because those black folks are taking your job. It opens up the door to the Charlottesvilles of the world, he said. Oh, my God.
You're lying.
Oh.
And you're a piece of shit.
Oh, my God. What a scumbag.
You're a crumb creep.
Oh, he's worse than that. He's a goo gobbler from way back. Trump never uttered those words. He smoked you in the election. It's so funny. Because the midterms, again, I'll say it again, I hope it's not Dominion machines again, but if it's a fair election, you're going to see the biggest slaughter in the history of the midterm. There's even Democrats jumping off ship. So Biden is basically lying his ever-loving balls off, and the fact checkers are nowhere to be found. Trump, in fact, mostly said the exact opposite of what Biden claims. And again, his success at winning over black voters confounded the Democrats. Biden is either sorely mistaken or incredibly dishonest. You forgot dumb. Does he believe Trump's actual policy platform was to put black people back in chains, as Biden once won black voters, was the case in 2012 when Romney was running? Or did he know perfectly well this Atlantic writer wasn't going to push back on his fantastical claim. Either way, democracy's defenders against darkness are seemingly nowhere to be found. Anybody counting his lies like they did Trump's? What scared me is even like Joe Rogan, when I was on his show, who's a bright guy, but he brought that up. Well, he's told 11,000 lies so far. It was an NBC News source. I couldn't believe that he falls for that. But all politicians lie. You know what? And this is the other thing I laugh at. Biden is everything they accuse Trump of being. He's a fucking racist. We know that, right? Business-wise, he's doing shit over in China without telling us about it. He's everything they say Trump is. Stupid. And old and white. Forgot that. And I don't know how the Republicans, you got to wake up and smell the coffee. Somebody. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene the only one with testicles out there? Big balls. They don't stick together like the Dems. Let me give you a perfect example in this next story, pillow fight. The Republican Governors Association, that would be the RGA, on Tuesday threw out Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow and a top Trump ally, after he showed up to its spring conference in Tennessee, he told Politico in an interview, and they fucking threw him out.
All right, get out! Get out!
Apparently they bought his pillows, didn't like it. Lindell said he had flown to Nashville on Monday to attend the 3-day meeting starting on Tuesday, but that only a few minutes after he collected his credentials at the JW Marriott Hotel, an event coordinator in the lobby told him he was not allowed at any of the official RGA events.
I'm staying right here.
He said. Let's think about this. This guy is an ally of Trump. Trump is the face of the Republican Party, whether you agree with that or not. He's going to be the kingmaker in the next election and probably president again. And this guy has spent millions of his own dollars to prove that the election was stolen. So he shows up, he thinks he's in friendly company to a Republican Governors Association, and they give him the boot. Now let's find out why. And an RGA official who spoke on the condition of anonymity said on Tuesday night that Lindell tried to join transportation for members only for a dinner at the Tennessee Governor's Mansion and was denied. The person added, these events are for RG members and Mike Lindell is not currently an RGA member. I don't know. You think maybe he could have picked up the phone and called Trump and they would have let him in? I don't know. What do you think? Lindell rose to political fame in the last year as he became a top ally of then President Trump, even speaking at the White House event in the early weeks of the pandemic. Trump called him a friend during the Rose Garden press briefing. After the 2020 election, Lindell became one of the most prominent people, here comes the liberal, touting Trump's falsehoods about the stolen election. Who wrote this?
You need to shut the fuck up.
And he hosted a feature-length documentary on the One America News Network about the subject. It's not a falsehood. It's a fucking fact. And the fact that you Republican governors wouldn't let him in just says everything about... I have a great analogy about the Republican Party. I don't think I've used it on the show because I want to use it in my act. I might have already said it, but anyways. Lindell went to the White House a number of times during last year of Trump's presidency, including a few days before the inauguration of President Joe Biden. Lindell on Tuesday shared a screenshot of a calendar event headlined RGA Nashville meeting with the attachment Nashville Agenda PDF and said he had been invited to the event in the last month or two. He also shared the schedule of RGA events for Tuesday and Wednesday that had the word confidential at the bottom. So he was invited. Lindell also shared his executive roundtable badge to the conference. The dinner Tuesday night was titled Executive Roundtable Reception and Dinner. Early on Tuesday, Lindell had gone on here's why. Steve Bannon's radio show and promised to confront Georgia shithead Governor Brian Kemp and fuckface Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, RGA's chair, about the election. He was going to confront them and allegations of fraud in their states. So God forbid.
Put him up. Put him up.
Can you imagine? Just him saying that on Bannon got him banned from these RGA meetings. Republicans. So you don't think the Republicans are in on it? Or pussies? Or acquiescing to this shit? I really have to get out. I have to register as independent or mentally ill. Anything. I don't want to associate myself with these Mitch McConnell fucks. Hundreds of people are attending this week's conference in Nashville, the organization's first widely attended event to be held since the start of the COVID pandemic more than a year ago. In February, Lindell was sued by Dominion Voting Systems for $1.3 billion. Boy, I see it really scared him. He's on the most popular podcast in the world. That's how I know it's all true. But they sued him for $1.3 billion. He said, big deal. I sell that many pillows in a day. Plus, I get sheets now that are made in Africa. In a defamation suit accusing him of repeatedly and falsely saying that Dominion's voting machines had stolen the election for Biden, which they did. Lindell, that's going to be on Judge Judy. Lindell has attended previous meetings of the RGA, including the winter 2020 meeting, where a few Republican governors encouraged him, Lindell, to run for governor of Minnesota. Former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell brought him to that event, but Lindell was not with McDonnell at the hotel on Tuesday. Trump has also encouraged Lindell to run. Do you Republican governors know that? You might be on a shit list now. Lindell said in the interview, wouldn't that be funny? The My Pillow guys are sending, oh my God. Every time they cut to him in the chamber, he's asleep with a nice pillow behind him. Lindell said in the interview on Tuesday that instead of staying the next few days in Nashville, he was going to the airport to leave the shithole. No, he said the city on his private plane. He didn't say shithole. Nashville's a great place.
Bye-bye.
See you, Mike. Can you imagine Republicans doing that to a guy that's that close to Trump? So that tells me the governors and shit really believe that it's not Trump's party. You got to read into this stuff, folks, if you have time and no kids and no life. Who's with me? Matthew, you ever been to where am I going? Myrtle Beach?
No, sir, I have not. South Carolina?
Yeah. I keep thinking you're from down here.
Nah, Arizona.
Oh, I didn't even know that, I don't think.
Yup.
Arizona. Fucking love it. No skin cancer yet?
Yet to be determined.
Unbelievable. When I did the HBO Young Comedian special, they put us up at this hotel in Arizona. Steve, what's his name? Something Keating. He was the guy involved with the big bank fraud thing, a national. He was a high-profile guy, a politician. And it was right around that time. And I guess to settle or whatever, he owned that hotel, so he had to give it to whoever the fuck. And there was, what do they call it? Something, mother of pearl? Is that what it is? A pool with mother of pearl at the bottom of it. It was the nicest place I have ever been in my fucking life. Tremendous. Anyways, enough of that horse shit. Finally, I just told you what sackless pieces of cheese the Republicans are. There are a few that do have testicles. Finally, someone in the Republican Party with a little bit of balls. 15 Republican state treasurers sent a warning they will pull assets from financial institutions if they give in to federal pressure to decarbonize and refuse to lend or invest in the fossil fuel and coal industry. Finally, somebody grows a pair of Spanish peanuts. When they say financial institution, they're talking about banks. And if those banks refuse to lend, for projects of fossil fuels, they're going to get nada. The letter, led by West Virginia Treasurer Riley Moore, is directed at Special Presidential Envoy for Climate Change, John Kerry. It expresses concerns over reports that Kerry and other members of the Biden administration have been privately pressuring, listen to this, this guy was in Vietnam. He's a Vietnam vet, and he's doing this shit. Privately pressuring U.S. banks to stifle the fossil fuel industry. Oh, my God.
Who said that?
Kerry.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
We are writing today to express our deep concern with recent reports that you and other members of the Biden administration, these are the governors talking, private treasurers, are privately pressuring U.S. banks and financial institutions to refuse to lend or invest in coal, oil, and natural gas companies as part of a misguided strategy to eliminate the fossil fuel industry in our country, the letter reads. So they are furious, as am I.
I despise it with every fiber of my being.
Do you understand? This is like communism fucking 101. The government working hand in hand and not shutting down, picking winners and losers and shit. The state treasurers sent the plain message to financial institutions telling them not to submit to the pressure of the present administration's coercion to deny investment and lending for the natural resources. Furthermore, they assert that the approaches will discriminate against law-abiding U.S. energy companies and their employees, which is true. Also, it'll impede economic growth and drive up consumer costs. In other words, it'll work perfectly, just the way Biden and the people want it. Because they're communist, Marxist cocksuckers. Who's with me? Adding that the strategy in question would make free market submit to politicians' will, which sounds a lot like socialism, communism, pick whatever. The signees of the letter are representing collectively more than, listen to this, $600 billion in assets, according to Axios. So that might get Biden's attention. That's $600 billion. That ain't no fucking change. Yeah, that's right. $6 billion with a B, Joey. Mama Luke. As a collective, we strongly oppose command and control economic policies that attempt to bend the free market to the political will of government officials, they write. It is simply antithetical to our nation's position as a democracy and a capitalist economy for the executive branch to bully corporations into curtailing legal activity. Why don't you just say it's fucking communism or socialism? Eventually, they'll own the means of production. We can pick a term. Can you imagine that? Politicians threatening banks, saying you can't lend to this industry. Is somebody going to stand up and do something, or do I have to put on my pants and slippers and go outside? I mean, really, man. Really. Anyways, hey guys and girls, have you ever browsed incognito mode? It's probably not as incognito as you think. And why would it be? Incognito mode, like the Chrome browser itself, is a Google product, and Google has made its fortune by tracking your movements online. There's even a $5 billion class action lawsuit against the company in California where it's accused of secretly collecting user data. Google's defense, incognito does not mean invisible. I don't know if that's going to hold up. So how do you actually make yourself as invisible as possible online? It's very easy. ExpressVPN. Turns out that even incognito mode, your online activity still gets tracked, and data brokers still get to buy and sell your data. One of these data points is your IP address. Data harvesters use your IP to uniquely identify you and your location, but with ExpressVPN, your connection gets rerouted through an encrypted server and your IP address is masked. Every time you connect to ExpressVPN, you get a random IP address shared by many other ExpressVPN customers. That makes it harder for third parties to identify you or harvest your data. Best of all, ExpressVPN is super easy to use. I figured it out, and that's the truth. No matter what device you're on, phone, laptop, or smart TV, all you have to do is tap one button for instant protection. So if you really want to go incognito and protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/nickdip and get 3 extra months for free. You hear what I just said? 3 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/nickdip. expressvpn.com/nickdip. We thank them for sponsoring the show today. It is a great product, no doubt about it. You know, because I like to look at weird stuff. You know, Ecuadorian housewives / bikinis, shit like that. Anyhow, what's the next headline? Defund the asshole. Did I write that? No, it should be defund this.
Does it say D there? I have this here. Whatever.
Yeah, you have the in there. Defund this asshole is the headline. Councilman, get this, Councilman Antonio Brown might as well be the receiver. This is a councilman. This is where we are in this country. Looks like Aaron Hernandez. Just a narcissistic, tattooed, selfie-taking. This is considered a councilman in Atlanta, was it? Yep. Anyways, councilman, are you sure that's him? I still can't believe it. Councilman Antonio Brown was attending, get this, you're going to laugh your balls off, a ribbon-cutting ceremony at an event in northeast Atlanta around noon when at least 4 kids jumped into his car and took off. Fox 5. He's all for defunding the police. Here's his quote. You don't immediately think, oh, these kids are going to steal my car, Brown said, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I guess I'm just a white racist, but yeah, you do. Oh, fucking idiot. The incident occurred amid a recent crime wave in the city. Brown, who joined the city's mayoral race. Oh, my God, are we fucked? He joined the mayoral race less than 3 weeks ago, is running on a campaign of reimagining public safety. I imagine it, little kids stealing my car, the paper reported. Last year, he voted in support of an ordinance to withhold, get this, $73 million from the budget of the Atlanta Police Department. How's that working out? Or you haven't even done it yet, and you're getting your car stolen. The ordinance was, can you imagine in Atlanta, which has been a crime nest forever? Let's take away more. You fucking people. Yeah. The ordinance was narrowly voted down. Narrowly. I know. I can't help it. Hillary, I'm telling you, this motherfucker. Brown said the thieves jumped in his vehicle Wednesday after he got out to speak with community leader Ben Norman. He noted his white Mercedes-Benz coupe has a keyless push-to-start ignition, and he failed to realize it had been started, reports said. The councilman described the kids as being, now get this, it's not a mistake, ages 6 and 12. Now, most games I played would say ages, 6 and up. That's what I was doing, playing Scrabble, not fucking age 6 to 12, stealing a car. I'll repeat that. I don't know their races. I'm going to go out on a limb because it's northeast Atlanta and say the suspects are black. 6 and 12. Isn't that a little young?
You got to grow up. You're not a kid anymore.
One kid was in the driver's seat. Ben attempted to open the door to get him out of the car. He fought with Ben. And what, do you hit him with your lunchbox? I then engaged and tried to get him out of the car. The 3 other kids were trying to figure out how to get in the car or stay out of the car. He started to hit on the gas, Brown said. Was he trying to pick it up? As he started to speed up, and I knew that if I did not let go, I knew I'd probably have killed myself because he was going so fast, I would have started to tumble. And I would have hurt him the councilman said. Councilman, has it dawned on you yet how ironic this is? And have you changed your stance on defunding the police, or this is... Brown doesn't plan on filing charges. Of course not. And again, this is why a lot of these people aren't in leadership positions. Brown doesn't plan on filing charges against the kids who he says, listen to this, acted out of desperation. You know, blame society.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So fucking stupid.
He said that this is a generational poverty. In other words, socioeconomics. Yet there's plenty of poor Asians. There's plenty of poor everything. Indians, Pakistanis, and they don't commit the amount of crime. How many times are you going to make the point? This is a generational poverty issue. These kids, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Why aren't they in school? Because they're out stealing a car. Because there's not enough cops. Why aren't we enforcing systems to ensure that if they are not in school, they're in recreational centers, he said. Yeah, that's a great idea. Hey, if the kids keep skipping school, you know how we punish them? Open the gym, let them play basketball. You assist his ass. Brown is under indictment himself. I can't believe this guy's running. Brown is under indictment on federal fraud charges related to alleged incidents, plural, that occurred in the years prior to him winning the council seat in 2019. I don't believe he won it. How about that? Now you're probably going, well, black people probably voted for him. No. Poor black people are the ones hurt first when you put assholes like this in charge. I'm guessing he was appointed. Like George Soros probably threw money at him. Anyways, according to the local Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Unbelievable.
I don't know what you're smiling at, Watermelon.
I'm not smiling at nothing. Can you fucking believe this is where we are? That looked like a picture that Aaron Hernandez would put on his Instagram of his buddy. Huh? Just self-absorbed. Look at me, I'm fucking ripped. Tattoos. But I'm going to make public policy in how Atlanta is run. Please help me cut my balls off. On to the next story. Top defense contractor woke or anti-white male is the question. You know who Lockheed Martin is? It's the nation's largest defense contractor. They put top executives through a 3-day training to, get this, deconstruct their white male culture and unlearn their white male privilege, according to a new report. And actual white guys, these fucking executives, agreed to do it? Why don't you just fight the power, Nancy? Go home and rub your vaginas. The fuck are you doing?
Up, white people.
13 employees, guys, pussies, including a former 3-star general, that's what creeps me out, and the vice president of production for the $1.7 trillion F-35 fighter. So these aren't dumb guys, in your opinion. Attended a program on Zoom last year led by the consulting firm. This is the name of it, White Men as Full Diversity Partners. Yeah, it's white people who are the problem. They're building fucking trillion-dollar jets. Do you see the systematic taking apart of our society as we know it? Anyways, the guy writing this story, Christopher Rufo. The firm works to, there he is. No, he reported on it, right? He's reporting on it. The firm works to help white men awaken together. The training began with a free association exercise which asked the Lockheed executives to list words associated with white men. The trainers listed old, racist, privileged, anti-woman, angry, Aryan Nation, KKK, founding fathers, guns, guilty, can't jump, according to Rufo. Well, let's start our own. Let's start our own anti-black, deconstructing black people, and put a list out there. Basketball, ribs, rape, gunshots, barbecues, grape soda, can jump, fast, horrible students, terrible parents. See, that's how you have to fight this shit. The diversity trainers posed the question, what's in it for white men? I don't even understand what they mean by that.
That's a sick question. You're a sick fuck, and I'm not that sick that I'm going to answer it.
Yeah, you will, because you were faggy enough to go to this thing. A list of responses included, I won't get replaced by someone who is a better full diversity partner. I will improve the brand, image, reputation of white men, and I will have legs. I will have less nagging sense of guilt that I am the problem. I don't even understand this exercise. The consulting firm claims that the roots of white male culture include traits such as, listen to this, these are negative things, according to the people who are trying to re-educate white guys. This is what represents rugged individualism, like this is bad. A can-do attitude, hard work, operating from principles, and striving towards success, which are devastating to women and minorities.
Well, whose fault is that?
Oh my God. Aren't those like universal principles that will be good for anybody in any country? Why is everybody trying to flock to this country to live if our founding fathers and white guys are so evil? The employees were also asked to recite and internalize 50 white privilege statements, including, my culture teaches me to minimize the perspectives and powers of people of other races. How do you make them internalize that? I can commit acts of terrorism. Oh my God. Violence, you mean like burning down Wendy's and killing cops? Or crime and not have it attributed to my race. Yeah, nobody's attributing the Capitol January 6th thing to white people who are still in jail who did nothing. How full of shit are you motherfuckers? After the participants finished their white privilege statements, they were asked to recite and internalize 59 male privilege statements, including my earning potential is 15 to 33% higher than a woman's. My reproductive organs are not seen as the property of other men, the government, and or even strangers. I don't even know what that means. Because of my gender. Oh, you fucking...
Oh, poor you.
For the final step, they had to cut off their cocks and put them in a mayonnaise jar and send them to the NAACP. For the final step, the employees recited and internalized 59 heterosexual privilege statements. You see the problem? Straight white men. Do you get it? That's why you always hear racist, homophobe, sexist. It's always... Those terms are applied to you. I've been saying this for 1,000 years. I see comedians of color complaining about political correctness. And I go, you motherfuckers, it only affects one person. Straight, white, Christian males. Do you get it? It doesn't affect you. I am not asked to think about why I am straight. Yeah, that's because, 99% of the population. I can have friendships with or work around children without being accused of recruiting or molesting them. Yeah, because fags like kids. I can prove it right with this audio.
Hey, little boy, you want some candy?
I got that backstage at Cats. That was a direct... The training concluded by asking the participants to read a list of I'm tired statements attributed to fictitious people of color and women, such as, I'm tired of being black. I'm tired of black boys/girls being murdered. I'm tired of the concept that we should be colorblind. This is pure neo-racism from a company that receives billions of taxpayer dollars every year. So how do you fight this? Rufo said in a tweet thread sharing his reporting, I call on the United States Senate to launch an immediate inquiry into the racist practices at Lockheed Martin. We must shut this down before it endangers our national security. I think it's a little late for that, my friend.
White power, 1, 2, 3, 4! I stand and watch my country.
Going down the drain!
We are all appalled now. We are all to blame.
Oh, boy. I'm going to start classes to re-educate. They even use the term. I'm watching TV yesterday. I heard the term re-education between 6 and 9 p.m. about 6 times on TV. Do you understand? That's the lingo. That is the lingo of Russia, circa 1930, 40, whatever. Re-education camps, China. And they use it. The left uses it. And you're still voting Democrat. Your sister's bug needs a beating. Let's get on to one of my favorite politicians who I once met. Rudy Giuliani was on Steve Bannon's show, which is a huge podcast. America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani returns and reveals how Doug Ducey and Brian Kemp, Ducey of Arizona, Kemp of Georgia, deliberately sabotaged patriots working to expose fraud from November 3rd. He also revealed how Kemp is the one who chose Dominion machines, which I didn't even know that.
Problem. You're the fucking problem.
Fucking Kemp.
You fucking Dr. White, onking jamrag, ucking spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H, you keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. I promise you. Not this time.
Let's take a look at Rudy on a Bannon show. Now he's going to be disinvited everywhere. Well, he's been doing this for a year anyways. Let's hear what he has to say. America's mayor, and a fine fella.
What is really true is there's evidence of systemic fraud. And whether it affects the election or not, it has to be examined so it doesn't happen again. Any governor who covers that up, Republican or Democrat, is not a good governor. He's not in your interest. He's working for somebody else somewhere. I don't know what's wrong with Ducey, but he was an enemy. He wasn't just neutral. And the same thing is true with Kemp. Don't let him off the hook. He might have been worse. Kemp had his Attorney General, Secretary of State, become like a hatchet man, claiming that there was only one dead person who voted.
That was Rasmussen.
Within one day of his saying that, we produced 700 death certificates of people who voted. These are people we could figure out voted. We don't know everybody who voted.
What did he say that the Secretary of Georgia, Secretary of State of the Raskenberger said one dead person voted? So now you know he's lying. They found, Rudy just said, if you didn't understand, they found at least 700 that they know of. I mean, but these facts just go up into the atmosphere. Nobody does anything? I don't understand anymore. Is there any fucking law and order? Go ahead.
Who voted and were dead. So he was wrong 700 to 1. He's probably wrong more like 4,000 or 5,000 to 1.
You are correct, sir.
And somebody else said, I think Ducey in Arizona, said no illegal immigrants voted. With a straight face. How much more evidence do you need? Don't mean to break up the meeting or nothing, Doc, but he's something of a cunt, ain't he? How do you mean that? Well, he likes a rigged game. We need some light, fluffy stories, don't we, before we head to the weekend? Here's one for you.
A, she was a hooah. B, she was a hooah.
Oh, goodness. According to MEAWW, what is that? According to MEAW, 35-year-old Minnesota woman Jennifer Dorrit Weber, seen here, happy as a, faces numerous misdemeanor charges after she was found completely naked and digitally penetrating herself. Now, what does that mean? She was using a cell phone or something? On May 9th, inside an SUV that didn't even belong to her. Police responded to the scene. You know what? I'd still watch it, even though she has the face of a news anchor from St. Louis. That's how sick I am. Police responded to the scene after concerned citizens reported seeing a naked female walking around and jumping in and out of vehicles. God bless her. What kinds of drugs? Turns out it was just a leave. At retail businesses that sells motor vehicles in Mankato, the city's about 80 miles southwest of Minneapolis. According to an arrest report obtained by the Smoking Gun, Minnesota police noted the completely naked woman did not stop pleasuring herself during her interactions with the cops.
Well, baby, me so horny.
A license, please.
Me so horny.
A license and registration, please.
Love you.
When cops arrived on the scene, the gold SUV where Weber was last reported was found to be empty. However, authorities soon found her nearby in a silver pickup truck. She was just kicking the tires, with the door wide open. The 35-year-old was laying on the back seat floor unclothed. This is cool. I want to be a cop. and making nonsensical statements about Biden being the president. No, about being in St. Petersburg, Florida. Oh, my God. Throughout this time, Weber was making nonsensical statements and continued to flip that bean. She was still masturbating, according to you cops, I noticed, didn't jump in or pepper spray or anything. A probable cause statement, anyways. Asked what brought her to the Mankato area, Weber replied, to please the boys. And the cop said,
hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Authorities said that they couldn't find the completely naked Minnesota woman's pants, nor underpants, inside the vehicle. Must have been a frame job. However, they allegedly discovered a metal spoon, oh, here we go, with crystalline substance on it that later tested positive for meth. God, is that the drug now? Police at the scene attempted for an hour to coax Weber out of the vehicle. What is she, like an angry pit bull? You know the guys were taking their time. I don't care how ugly she was. Maybe she had a nice body. That's the level us fellas work at. Sure, she's crazy, but fuck, get her number. So it took an hour to get her out of the vehicle, all while she continued to pleasure her. Man, oh man, she's worse than me, and make nonsensical statements. Seems like quite a lady.
Watch out, because I'm...
According to the New York Daily News, police were also able to contact the owner of the truck, who said he was having the vehicle serviced. I guess the fuck. And Weber didn't have permission to be there. He then called her. They went to Applebee's, and now they have 2 kids. Minnesota police were eventually able to coax the completely naked woman. What took so long? You reach in, grab her by her saggy tits, give her a yank. Completely naked woman out of the vehicle and took her into custody. They enjoyed. She was, they didn't put her clothes on or anything. She was taken to a detoxification center for treatment, according to police documents. Weber was later charged with indecent exposure. What's indecent about that? Narcotics possession, DWI, entering a vehicle without the owner's permission, and having a big furry buff. That's 1 to 5 years, I believe in that. All right, that's enough, folks. That is enough of me for the week. I want to thank you guys again so much for watching the show and keeping us up and running. Don't forget thecomicsgym.com. Don't forget nickdip.com. Click on the tour button and see if I'm going to be near you telling you jokes. And don't forget cameo.com. If you want me to make a video, a personal video roasting one of your friends or relatives, go to cameo.com. Click on my profile, tell me a little about the person. I'll make a video on my phone, send it right to them. We'll give them a real zinger. That is it for the week. Again, thank you guys for joining us. You think it, I'll say it. You're very welcome. We'll see you back here on Monday. I'm sorry. It's Memorial Day. We are not doing a show on Monday. I apologize. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. All right? I promise I'll be here. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Bye-bye.